What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to Double Coverage. Hope you're still living, loving, and breathing sport. I am Dom with the great man Sauce. Welcome. We're in morning.
Tomo,
We're in
yep.
morning.
It's a sad day.
We're in morning. Not as a football club, but me as a hack fucking pundit when it comes to AFL on this show. Because I've been saying for 7 bloody months that this was a Monty of a win for the North Melbourne Kangaroos. And they made me look like a right lemon, my football club,
That they
on
did.
Friday.
They did not turn up, Doma, the Kangas. They just did not turn up, did they?
Oh, it was disgraceful. I'm going to go pretty hard on them. Like, really hard. I'm going to probably say some really controversial things. Like, really bad shit. Like, that potentially, like, would get us cancelled on YouTube. Like, we're going to Rumble starting next week.
Well, we're already on Rumble, mate. Everything's getting auto synced to Rumble.
I'm
I actually need to check if that's still working.
I'm going to tell you. I'm going to say some real bad shit. So, yeah. Do you want to start with that? Oh, how are you, by the way? Fucking don't let my depression get you down in the dumps, because the Bombers are doing well, mate. So
I'm good. Essendon's, won 3 games. We've got Anzac Day clash tomorrow, which we'll talk about. Playoffs in the NBA has started, which is good. F1 is flying, and we got to talk big about that because our boy Oscar Piastri, can we say after it's been there's 5 races, there's been 5 races,
5,
I think,
5
right?
races.
He's won 3 of the races. Is it fair to say he has a genuine chance at winning the world championship?
I think he's going to win the world championship before Lando Norris. But in saying that, Lando had a really bad quali, so
we'll talk a bit more about it when we get to F1. I'm excited because there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on in the world of sports, and it's getting to the pointy end of the season in the NBA, as I mentioned. So we're excited about that, and AFL's up and running. Big weekend of football ahead. We've got the Melbourne game and the Melbourne versus Richmond on in the background. It's 22 apiece, 12 minutes to go in the second quarter as we're recording here live on YouTube and surrounding platforms.
Let's start with
it's going to be a big show. Big show, yeah. Start with the AFL, mate. Let's start with
Good Friday before we'll go to the Collingwood Brisbane game second. All I keep hearing from North Melbourne Football Club source, we don't listen to outside noise. We can't disturb what we're trying to do and like get distracted within our football club. This is all the crap I keep hearing. All right. That to me is like you're soft as butter. So you don't listen to the outside noise, but you listen to people in your football club who are paid to piss in your pocket 365 days a year and inflate your egos to make you think you're better than what you are, signing 7-year contracts and 5-year contracts to 2030, saying you're going to win flags and do all this rubbish. What was dished up on Friday was an absolute disgrace, a genuine disgrace. I didn't think we could get any worse. And like, I'm going to take it to the point of we've been given Good Friday football source. We were the pioneers for Good Friday football. And I think it could be gone very quickly. I think it could be taken away.
Every year there's murmurs, Dom. Every year that you fail drastically on that Good Friday game, the same rumors and murmurs of the Good Friday game being taken off you guys floats about. At some point, if you keep playing like that, it's not going to, be murmurs. It's going to be taken from you, and they'll put a team like Hawthorn in there and send that against Carlton at the G, and they'll get 100,000, 90,000 there, and the AFL will make more money, and for them it will be more beneficial. So when you look
I
at it
don't
like that,
disagree with you
AFL's
at all.
going to look at it, in terms of
Business
the
wise,
money factor and business. They're going to do it. I just think it's inevitable. I think if the game was a better contest, it's been one-sided year after year for I don't know how many years, Tom. It's been 5, yeah, just
twice or 3 times against the Dogs. Oh no, twice against the Dogs and 3 times against the Blues. I'm pretty sure. 5 years. It's an embarrassment, man. I sat there and watched it, and I got Carlton supporters around me, and it was just unbearable to watch on our Friday. And all I could think of the whole time was, and I don't know why I think about this stuff. I don't. I was going to come on here and just make some ridiculous jokes in terms of Good Friday football. I was going to make some jokes about North Melbourne, but I'm not getting into all that stuff. But genuine, the first thing that came to my mind, you're playing for the kids on Good Friday. That's the whole point of the game.
Yep.
Right? That's the point of the game. So for 5 years, whatever, you might have to fact check me on how long it's been going for. Right? You give them the benefit of the doubt at the beginning, North, because they're rebuilding and they're trying. But there's kids that you're playing for that are sick, that are dying, actually dying, these kids. And they look up to some of you fuckers as their hero. And if that's the kind of display you're going to put in year in, year out to be a hero for some of these kids, you should be fucking ashamed of yourselves. Genuinely ashamed of yourselves. I would have walked into that dressing room at halftime as a leader of that football club, and I would have drilled that message into my players' heads. If they don't like it, don't come back to the fucking football club on Monday morning. Genuinely. It's a disgrace. And all this bullshit, Jai Simpkin as the captain. Oh, we don't listen to outside noise. You know what you should be doing? Here's the tip, clown. Here's the actual tip. And I will make this comment. If I was Clarko, I would have dropped him this week because he's been shit. But in all honesty, the reason he can't drop him is because of all the Indigenous stuff he had to deal with a couple of years ago. All right? Let's not beat around the bush. Because if he drops Jai Simpkin, then he gets put under scrutiny again as the coach. I'm being serious, right? I'm not trying to play that card, but that's a genuine fact. Wake up, people. Wake up. I would have dropped him straight away. Make a statement. Look at what Melbourne did last week. They dropped Fritsch, Van Rooyen. They dropped senior guys that had been in that team. They came out and they won. Try to make a statement. I would have dropped the captain. I don't give a shit. Drop him. He's been woeful. And to come out and say, we don't listen to outside noise. This is the tip. Let me just get back to that point. David King, Kane Corns, this person, that person, Jason Dunstall, whoever it is that's saying stuff about you, Caroline Wilson writing articles about you, Scott Gullen writing articles about you, whether it's Sam Edmund, John Ralph, I don't care who it is. You should be using that as fuel to spur you on as a football club. Now, I'd have a dartboard like Sauce's got at the back there, and I'd pin all their heads on it, like what Michael Jordan used to do. And Michael Jordan used to create fictitious rivalries with people just because someone looked at him wrong. North, you better start creating a lot of fictitious rivalries, mate. You better start thinking that every single one of those players is an AFL executive ready to get you into a merger or to boot you out of the league, send you somewhere else. Because, mate, I'm telling you, you've been insipid. So you better come out this week against Port Adelaide and show something. You better show something. Just try. That's all I ask. And this is the whole thing. You don't listen to this stuff, and then we get told, everyone, right? This is inclusive of all AFL team source. You're just a casual fan. What do you know? You're just a casual fan. Well, you know what? We pay our membership, mate, for you to get paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to kick a football, right? So for us to pay to come watch you, at least put some fucking effort in. I'm sick of this bullshit of you're just a casual fan. You don't know anything. I can tell you one thing. You got absolutely no deep defensive transition. As the casual fan that I am, you got no defensive transition whatsoever. I'm not a coach. Am I wrong? I don't think I am. As the casual fan that knows nothing.
I just
So
feel
this
like
soft shit, this soft shit culture in our football club makes me sick. Pretty
yeah.
boy. Mate, I'm telling you, if Larky has to do this with his fringe one more time, I'm gonna go down to Arden Street with clippers and just shave his head straight out. It's pissing me off. Everything is pissing me off now about this football club. I try to be as optimistic as possible because I saw positive signs. But when you come out and put lack of effort on Good Friday, and I'll bring it back to my point, these sick kids look up to you. You bring them into your football club into the lead up to the game every year. They look up to you as a hero, as an inspiration, and what kind of message you trying to set. And don't give me, oh, well, we had an off day. You've had an off 5 years, not off a day.
Where did it all go apart? Because in that second quarter there, you were coming back. You ramped up your pressure. Your pressure was right up. You scored 4 goals to 2. You got it back to a 20-goal margin. Came out in third quarter, premiership quarter. You got to be ready to go, mate. You were still in the changing rooms 10 minutes into the quarter, Dom. I don't think you ever came out of the change rooms. You just sat in there and just let Carlton kick goal after goal after goal after goal. Got out of hand. Put in 1 quarter effort. It's not going to get you anywhere. So yeah.
And if you're wondering why I'm wearing a Mickey Mouse tie, it's because we've turned into a Mickey Mouse football club. It's a disgrace. Genuinely, it's one of the first times. Actually, the only time as a football club you've genuinely made me sick. Like, just to look at you made me sick. I was disgusted in this shit.
There's a lot of Kangas fans that are fed up. They thought they seen some signs against Melbourne, and Carlton clearly struggling this season. Not that they're playing their best, anywhere near their best football.
If they beat us Source by 20 points or 15 points, I'll live with that. But Carlton is not 82 points better than North Melbourne. No way. I can't sit here and believe that they're 82 points better than North. Fucking Richmond beat them. Richmond is going to beat us in 3 weeks. I will be tipping them on this show in 3 weeks' time. I will tip them.
Cool.
I will tip them on this show.
Big call.
And I'll give the same message to North Melbourne as I gave to James Harden. Prove me wrong. James Harden yet to do that. So someone's got to send a rocket up their ass, mate.
Yeah, we'll see, mate. I've seen the fans on TikTok. I've seen the fans across the socials, the Kangas fans. There's a few, people that obviously do a bit of content. It's just not happy times down there at the Kangas, your mob, Doma. And I've been to a few games this season, and you just lack the ability to when things don't go your way, it falls apart quick, and you have the inability to, put a pause on that momentum in a game and wrestle back momentum. You've done it for one game this season. That was obviously the game that you won against Melbourne. So every other game you've not been able to do it. And you would have hoped you'd seen some better signs this year, but I think it's honestly, Dom. I don't know, and it would be disappointing if you do one of these first half of the year, shocking, and last year second half of the year you do well. It would just be like you haven't improved from last year, because you're gonna, what are we, round 7, and you're not going to be any better than what you were last year by the looks of it.
We're struggling. All right, let's get to the other games. I'm sick of this football club. So I'm going to take this off because I'm fucking boiling as well. The Thursday night game was Brisbane versus Collingwood. And for a team that is old and slow in the Pies, they came out and made light work of the Lion Sauce, winning by 52 points at the Gabba.
Yeah, slapped them up there at the Gabba, which is a surprising result, if you ask me, Doma. But nonetheless, what did I say? Who were the three teams that we gave on this? Or I gave anyway. Was Collingwood, GWS, Lions. They were the three teams that I said from the beginning, before the season started, that can win the flag. And Collingwood is proving that. And I think, I had a Collingwood friend, they said they didn't really believe that they could, win the flag this year. I was like, what do you mean you don't believe that you can win the flag? He goes, look, if we can beat Brisbane, I'll believe, especially up there at the Gabba. Well, he flew up there and watched the game up there at the Gabba. And he said it was one of the best. It was one of the best experiences of his life. He happily snagged some corporate box tickets through a work relation there, and he just took him and flew up there and seen the game, and he was over the moon. And you have to steadily say that Collingwood are, one of the flag contenders. Should their team be able to stay pretty injury free and they get through the year like any team, they can be riddled by injuries that will halt your ability to win a flag. They can win it, and that's a fact. If you ask me. So, very well played by the Pies and the Lions. They'll want to bounce back this week against St Kilda. That's for sure.
Yeah, 100%. Next one up, you can give us a bit of a rundown. The Dons winning by 2 points against West Coast.
Win's a win. That's all I'll say, Dom. And, we played night and day better. It was like a team of two halves. In the first half, we looked terrible. One of those games where we just couldn't do anything right, missing targets. Stayed in it, stayed close, but probably mainly because it was West Coast. If it was a better side, we probably would have been down 6 to 8 goals at halftime, the way we played. But stuck with it, and in the second half, and well done, Peter Wright. Great comeback. He's come back in a timely fashion because we need him now, because we've obviously had Draper go down, Brian go down. We've only got two big tools left, and that's Wright and Goldstein, who's going to play this week. First game in for Anzac Day. What an experience, that is. Your first game of the season, boom, 95,000 on Anzac Day for Big Goldie. We won. We got the job. We got the job done in the end, and that's all I'll say. A win's a win. We've won 3 on the year. As I say, Dom, I do not expect us to make finals this year. If we somehow magically make finals, terrific. But I don't. There's too many young players in this team.
For Kangas next week.
Wow. We'll see. We'll see.
You just need to keep winning the games that you're meant to win. Anything's possible, mate.
No, we'll see. But a win's a win. And I've gone past. You see, I'm in a few Facebook groups with Essendon supporters and that. You sort of see people crapping on. How do we only beat West Coast by 2 points? This and that. Can you go have a look at the history of Essendon traveling to Perth and have a look at our record there over the last 10 years? It's fucking shit. So anytime you get a win over in Perth, we know West Coast is the worst team in the league, but we still got the job done. I'm going to take the win, and I'm going to move on to next week. Builds confidence.
That was a good win for Essendon because they made the statement the week before. They dropped all their players and then brought them all back in West Coast this week to send those players a message. So they all came out fired up, revved up to earn their spot, and you held them off. You came back and you beat them. So they played out of their skin, West Coast, as well. So that's the other thing. And if you don't watch the game, I actually watched this game in its entirety. So if you don't watch the game, you got fucking absolutely no context except the 2 points that you see on the app. Like Saucy's saying. They played out of their skin, West Coast. Much better than fucking every other round that preceded last round. I'll tell you that much. they sent a statement that came out firing. Don's held them off, and that's a big win for the football club, if you ask me. And you get Langers back as well this week, so that's a good addition back into the side. Yeah, and Draper, obviously the tough one with the injury. The next one up, D's defeated Fremantle by 10. It was a great win by Melbourne. Same flow and effect. Dropped all their senior players the week before. Brought them all back in. Dropped all the senior players to send the message. Everyone played out of their skin to keep their spot. They get the job done. The Dockers, there's a lot of problems at that football club as well. So, yeah, it's a wait and see what's going to happen with their progression. The Tigers end up beating the Suns by 11. They get another great victory at Marvel. The Suns they struggle for the first half, and then they try to come back and do the heroic comeback. But when you give teams a significant lead, to come back from that far down is a task in itself. So the Tigers win by 11. Great win for them. They're trying to back it up right now. Both Melbourne and Richmond coming off wins to try and go 2 wins in a row. So it's a close one at the moment. 4 points at halftime. And then the last Saturday game was Adelaide versus the Giants. Very low-scoring affair. The ball was just
should have been game of the round, but it was an absolute shocker.
It was a stinker, and the Crows
couldn't finish. They could not even finish GWS. They were missing goal after goal after goal. They kicked a bunch of behinds. Adelaide got the job done, but it wasn't pretty. But I don't know what you make of that win because, obviously they're a completely different team without Jesse Hogan. They rested him just to make sure he didn't have a prolonged injury. I'm not sure if he's back this week.
He's back this week.
He's going to be back. Yeah. So look, that's what my tip for that game was, sort of based off whether Hogan was going to be back. If Hogan's back, I'm going to tip GWF. If Hogan's not back, I'm going to tip Doggies. But if he's back, I'll be tipping the GWS. But yeah, look, good win for Adelaide because it shows that you can, beat a quality side. And I think we've confirmed that Adelaide's going to be a good team this year, and they could, they could very well play finals, should they keep going the way they're going. So
definitely. The Sunday game, Swans lose to Port Adelaide by 8. The big news coming out of this week, obviously, Chad Warner re-signed today as well for Sydney, so they keep their marquee mid. The Dogs defeated Saints by 71. Bont came back and put on an absolute clinic. The sad news in this one, Sam Darcy hurts his knee. Thankfully, it's not an ACL, but he's set to miss 4 to 5 months of football. Thank God it wasn't an ACL. As you know, him and Dacos are the 2 best young talents in the league at the moment. So wishing him a speedy recovery. The Saints are pretenders. They actually had to play someone for once, and they got found out and destroyed. And we kept saying that on the show. You win the games you're meant to, but when you come against good opposition, if you can't beat them, then where do you really stand? And then the Easter Monday game, which was game of the round, Cats versus Hawks. It's always a cracker. Every year it's a cracker. Whether it's a kick after the siren or it's just unbelievable. Cats get the win by 7 points, beating the Hawks, and the Cats are the real deal. They are the real deal. They're very, very good.
Yeah, they look good, and the way they've obviously changed things up in their forward line, and obviously Dangerfield spending a bit more time down there, and then going into the midfield when he's really needed, and obviously Bailey Smith taking a bigger role in the midfield, getting him in as a recruit. He's been really good for them. So look, it showed that the Hawks can obviously play big games, and they've got the ability to be right there with some of the best teams. So, I wouldn't be too upset if you're a Hawthorn supporter. I mean, you got to remember last year, the first half of the year, you guys were absolutely shocking. So, and then you put it all together in the second half of the year. So, you're going to have ebbs and flows in a season, but yeah, good win by the Cats.
Great win. Brings us to this week. Let's quickly run off our tips because we spent 25 minutes on the AFL, just reaming people.
Well, 25 minutes on the AFL, and it's total 12 to 15 minutes just absolutely drilling the Kangas.
Yeah, well, fair enough. Rightfully so. I actually did my tip before coming on the show for this game. So I tipped Richmond just for transparency for people listening. So
I tipped Melbourne. That was
Saucy tipped Melbourne.
I would have gone Melbourne.
Pies versus Essendon.
Pies. It's going to rain tomorrow, so they could throw up anything, but I'm going to go Pies.
I'm going Pies as well. They reckon about 20 mil of rain source. It's going to be a wet one. Far out. Dockers versus Crows in Perth. I think Adelaide.
Dockers. I don't say that with confidence though. Crows can get them, but you got to give the Dockers the sort of favoritism over there in Perth.
Lions Saints at Marvel.
Lions.
I'm going Lions as well. Port versus North in Adelaide.
Port.
I'm going Port. Bother. GWS versus the Dogs. This is a cracker game. Saturday night.
GWS.
In Canberra. I'm going GWS also. Suns versus Swans in Queensland.
Suns.
I'm going Gold Coast. They'll bounce back. Carlton versus Geelong at the G.
Geelong.
I'm going Geelong as well. And then Hawthorn versus West Coast at Marble.
Hawthorn. I'm
going Hawks as well. Very nice. Saucy. All right, let's move on into the NBA. Have you got all the series? We can do a bit of a bracket, I think. Have a crack.
I've got absolutely nothing ready, but we'll see what we can do.
Easy. We can move to F1 while you're getting that sorted because that's a nice quick one.
Let's
Piastri.
go over F1 and then I'll get this sorted.
Oscar Piastri wins the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. He finishes first. Verstappen second, Leclerc third, Norris fourth, Russell fifth, Antonelli sixth, Hamilton seventh, Sainz eighth, Albon ninth, and Isaac Hadjar in 10th, which is a good finish for him. The other Aussie, Jack Doohan, finished 17th, which is second last of the finishing cars. Sonoda and Gasly both did not finish this race. Piastri looks amazing at the moment. Norris had bad qualifying. That's why he didn't start at the front of the grid. So he had to work his way into it. But Piastri just led from start to finish. What can I say? He's on top of the World Championship at the moment by 3 points from Lando Norris. So, yeah, he's killing it. There is another race source on Monday the 5th, which is in 2 weeks' time. That ended the triple header from Japan into Bahrain into Saudi Arabia. And it's our favorite race of the year, Saucy, coming up next on the 5th of May. And that is the painted-on oceans and the brought-in sand beaches from Miami. So can't wait for that one. It's this season's going to be cracker. And like I said early on, potentially Lando and Piastri, if it's so close at the top, their bickering could potentially cause Max Verstappen to win the World Championship, in my opinion.
We'll have to see. I think, it'll be interesting to see at the halfway point if there's any gap between Piastri and Lando, and if there is there a decision for the team there to say no? Well, we want one of our drivers to win, and Piastri's X amount of points ahead, or Lando's X amount of points ahead, right? It could be. He's the lead. Like if there's a situation in the second half of the season that you have to give up first for him, you're going to have to do it. And that's that. So I wonder if is the team going to make that hard call? We will see. Verstappen's not happy. He wasn't happy on the weekend with the race.
He's never happy, bro.
Not happy. He's not happy in general. He's not happy with the car and its grip, and he's just complaining about everything. There's been drama since the start of the season. So who knows?
Still third. He's like not far off anyway. So if the car's that shit, if they can dial it in, he could be very good in the second half of the year, to be honest. So, yeah. All right, let's get to the NBA source.
NBA. All right,
What do
I've
you
got
got
it.
for me?
Let me
What do you
bring it
got
up.
for me?
Got it. NBA. I've got the bracket. Got the bracket up. Hang on. There it is. There it is. All right. Scrolls down. That's all of them. So we'll start with the East. We've got Cleveland versus Miami. Cleveland's won their 2 home games. You fought back well today, but you weren't quite strong enough.
Gentlemen sweep. 4-1 will lose.
4-1. Dommer's calling it. I tend to agree. I think you'll get one of the 2 games that you've got at home in the next two games, but we'll see. I genuinely think Cleveland's just a little bit too good.
Yeah, they're too good.
You don't have enough firepower. Like Hero's been really good, and Bam's been doing his part, but you just need that. You need a third guy, and you're just lacking that third guy punch. And then Pacers 2-0 over the Bucks. Lillard didn't play the first game. Lillard played the second game, but he had restricted minutes. I don't know if he has less unrestricted minutes. I don't know what happens. I'm leaning towards the Pacers win this series. They have the home court advantage, but don't be surprised. It's Giannis. Anything could happen, but I just don't think the Bucks are as good defensively. You got Kuzma doing his best Tony Snell impersonation. 22 minutes, 0 points, 0 assists, 0 rebounds, 0 steals, 0 blocks. He did absolutely nothing for 22 minutes. I think that was in the first game. I think it was. So look, who knows what happens there? I think the Bucks will probably win one, if not both, of their home games in the next one, and then it'll go back to Indiana. You got Boston over Orlando. Tatum didn't play today, and they still won quite easily. So I think that's going to be a 4-0 or a 4-1. Doma, I don't see Orlando winning more than one match. Pablo Banchero needs help, bro. He needs help. Have you had a look at his stat line in the first 2 games? Like, he's been absolutely doing everything. So the guy needs help there in Orlando. The roster's not good enough.
That'll be sweet.
New York Knicks against the Pistons. 1-1. Pistons pinched game 2. They could have arguably pinched game 1. They were up by so much in game 1, and then Pistons. They came back on the Pistons and ended up winning in game 1. This time the Pistons were able to hold them off. They go 1-1. I think this series could go to 7 because Pistons underrated. The Pistons. They actually have
Pistons in 7, baby.
They got good. They got good defense. So
Pistons
I feel like they match up well. I feel like they match up well against the Knicks. So I think it can go to 7. I don't know who's going to win that one, but I did say that Knicks will win the East at the start of the season when we seen the odds and they were $3.50 to win the East or whatever it was, Doma. That's a guarantee. They're not winning the East. So I don't know who wins the series, but Knicks aren't winning the East. Then you got Oklahoma City against Memphis. This is going to be an absolutely shellacking. They demolished them in game. They didn't just win. There's one thing defending your home court, and then there's smashing them at home court. Like that transition, how do they go? How does Memphis just go home and automatically get back 25 plus points that they got smashed by in both games? Way. How do they? You don't have a 25-point swing just because you go back to your home court. I think Oklahoma wins this either 4-0 or 4-1. I genuinely think so.
Block Moran is genuinely going to get traded as well. So.
Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen there. He can't do the gun celebrations. Now he's doing the grenade celebration. He's just an idiot. Focus on the basketball.
Yeah. Nuggets Clippers. That's a good series, bro.
Great series. Both games very good. Kawhi Leonard turning back the clock. 39 points in game 2 was absolutely phenomenal. I watched that last quarter in game 2, and Doma, the shots that Kawhi was making, it was just hot. Yeah, he was just hot. He was just making everything. It was just unbelievable. And I think that's going to go to 6 or 7 series. I'm going to lean towards Denver because I feel like Denver has more guys on their team that can. You know what you're going to get you for Jokic. Jokic is going to give you that every game. You don't know if you can get 39, 30 plus every game out of Kawhi. You don't know that. right? And then obviously Harden has to do his bit. He need Norman Powell to step up. You know what you're going to get for Jokic. I feel like over 7 games, the consistency of Jokic, he'll bring the other guys around him into the game better, and it will be 7. I think they'll win in 7. I'm going to go Denver in 7. Then we've got Houston Rockets, Golden State. This will be a great series. Jimmy Buckets injured today, subbed out after 8 minutes in the first quarter, injured. We don't know if he's going to come back in game 2. If Jimmy Butler is out any games or is out for the rest of the series, mark it down. Houston Rockets win it because Curry can't do it without Butler's help. That's just plain fact.
Yeah, that's
right.
Fact.
He's just not going to do it. So it all depends on Butler's health. If Butler can come back maybe miss one game and come back game 4, it could be game on. But at the moment, I'm going to have to go Rockets. Just we don't know what's going on with Butler. I'm not saying 100% the Rockets, but they were second seed for a reason. I mean, you have to give them some sort of props. They played terribly game 1, came out game 2, completely different. Jalen Green, I think he only had 5 or 6 points game 1, came out today, 35 points or whatever the hell he had. It was just, they just dominated. Then you have the Lakers against Minnesota. Lakers, terrible in game 1, but terrible, but also, I'm not sure if you've seen Timberwolves shot 50% from 3.
Yeah.
So any team shoots 50% from 3, you're going to fucking struggle to win the game. That's just the way the NBA is these days. They take 33s, 15 made. That's 15 times 3. There you go. There's 45 points right there just from 3 points. Right? Half their score, just about. So Lakers got to be better at D'ing up perimeter, which they did in game 2, and then they were able to get the win. I think this series is going to go 6 or 7. I'm going to take the Lakers in 7. Luka Doncic, we know what he did to the Timberwolves when he was at the Mavs against them in the playoffs. So let's see where it leads to, Doma. But I'm going to go Lakers in 7. There you go. That's the playoffs at the moment.
I'm going to go Lakers in 5.
Lakers in 5, like Shannon Sharp.
Yeah.
He's in a bit of trouble at the moment. I'm not sure if you've seen what's happened.
Like his lawsuit. He's getting sued for 50 mil, apparently. Oh my gosh, what a lemon. I think there's a good time where, before we get into the EPL, just to promo the Hobby Hangout XL trading card show.
Yes.
Sunday, the 1st of June, 2025, 9 Nicholson Street, Carlton, at the Royal Exhibition Building in Melbourne. It's at 10:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. You can get your tickets in the description of the show. It's going to be a ripper.
Also in the chat, mate. I've put the link in the chat too. There you go.
It's going to be a banger. And thanks once again to the Hobby Hangout for sponsoring the show for the next few weeks. Great to have them on board. Hello, Global. Hope everything is going well, my man.
Hey, mate.
Next up, some EPL. If we have, if we've got that, just a quick rundown. Liverpool's won the title, so
Liverpool's won it. Arsenal drew with Crystal Palace 2-2 this morning. Yeah, there's not much to go through. Like, I mean, the relegation is mostly set.
We just got Europa and Champions League.
Europa and Champions League. I think we will bypass that because there's no point. Yeah. It's just running into time.
Let's get to some UFC.
Doma, let me get it up. I don't think there was a card over the weekend. I think there is a card coming up this weekend. Yep, there wasn't a card over the weekend. There's a card coming up this weekend, the 27th, headlined by Gary Machado and Carlo Paredes. And then you got Anthony Smith against Zhang Yang and Giga Jigate against David Onama, Michael Pereira against Abus Magomedov, Randy Brown against Nicholas Dalby, Ikram Askarov against Andre Muniz. That rounds out the main card. That kicks off from 11 a.m. The prelim card kicks off from 8 a.m. That's actually a very, very good fight card. Like, that's one of those that could be a main event fight card, if you ask me, Thomas. So tune in because that one's on free to air.
Now,
there's going to be some knockouts, I reckon.
Very nice. I've got 2 things for UFC. As you know, I listen to every Joe Rogan podcast. known to man, and he was on a show. He had Tim Dillon on. If you want to listen to a potential slip up by Joe Rogan source, potential slip up by the great man. He just out of nowhere, because they were talking about comedy specials and Netflix, and he goes, "Oh yeah, more than likely UFC's they'll sign the deal with Netflix next, since their ESPN contract's up." And then he said it, and then he goes, "Oh, not that I've been told anything or anything, but it just would make sense, biggest streaming platform in the world." And I'm thinking to myself, I reckon you fucking know that Dana's been talking to Netflix. It's either that or you listen to double coverage. So I'm going to go with Dana White.
He listens to us, mate. He listens to us. And with our Russian bots, mate.
They're all from Dagestan. We've got Islam listens to us, Khabib, they all listen to us here on this show. But yeah, it was a bit of a slip up, I think. And as I mentioned, the TKO group, which owns WWE and UFC, and WWE already signed that multi-billion-dollar deal on Netflix. So imagine that source. UFC on Netflix, all pay-per-views live, free to subscribers. That'd be crazy. Absolutely mental. Second thing is, if you want to listen to two really, really good podcasts, both the same guest, one on the Patrick Bet David podcast, and the other one is a Joe Rogan MMA special episodes that he does. But Ilya Topuria was on both of those podcast channels. Go listen to it.
I've heard it's good. I've been meaning to listen to it.
I think he could potentially be the GOAT. He's so fucking, he's so smart. The way he talks about him, man, he's unbelievable. He's unbelievable. So
I'll have to give it a listen.
He talks a bit about deals and who he wants to fight. Obviously, going up a weight class. Obviously, asked about Conor McGregor. He said, "If I fought Conor McGregor now," he goes, "I'd smash him." He goes, "It wouldn't even be close," which is not wrong. Fight a drunk, coked up Conor McGregor.
100%. No, I agree. We've seen that in his last fights. He's nowhere near what he once was, and he honestly, I don't think he should fight again. To be honest, if you're asking me.
No, they reckon he will. He'll do one more. That's what they're saying. They reckon he'll do one more fight, retire in the octagon, and that's pretty much it, I think. But yeah, great listening. So go tune into one of those two or both of those podcasts. All right, Source, give it another plug as we're up to Hobby Talk, Hobby Hangout XL at the Royal Exhibition Building, Sunday, 1st of June. Tickets in the comments or in the description. So check that out. All right, Hobby Talk. What have we got? I do have it open. First one. Share my screen. Before my computer falls in a heap and explodes. The fan's gone crazy.
As usual.
Nothing new in this household. Tell me when it's come up. Yeah, is it up?
It's coming up.
Maybe. Here it comes. There we go. Here we go. Lewis Hamilton to attend the opening of the Fanatics card shop in London. So that's pretty cool. Source. Lewis Hamilton is going to be at the grand opening of the Fanatics collectible card store in London. Pretty good. Largest card store in Europe. Source. He's the inside of it. Pretty epic, if you ask me. So that's a good get for the team at Tops. And obviously, we spoke about last week. It was WrestleMania weekend, and a whole bunch of Tops Now cards. So they were literally all over it. And we spoke about those special patches too. But I'm just going to go through some of the. If people know who Joe Hendry is, he's pretty popular at the moment with his wrestling gimmick. He was the surprise opponent for Randy Orton, and he's got his first card. So that's his first card getting RKO'd by Randy Orton.
Here we go. I seen they've done another couple of auto releases.
Yep. This one here is
the pack style, the money maker, as I call it.
Yep. He's Jey Uso won his first World Heavyweight Championship. This is a 1-on-1. This is the insert inside the pack maker, as Saucy said. There's the Tops Now chance to get this 1-on-1 auto, patch auto. There you go. Oh, there's still more to come. They went ham, bro. Dual auto of Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman. And then the biggest one, and it's the one that we were talking about last week. Excuse me. John Cena won the the WWE Championship source. Record breaking 17 times. Breaks the Ric Flair record.
The
1-on-1, the last real champion. Whoop. Sorry, I should share the tab. There we go. Last real champion. That's his first autograph card as the quote unquote the GOAT. Most title reigns in the history of professional wrestling. There's 17. Obviously, it's a pack filler. And there's 2 John Cena cards. You got this one when he walked out in his entrance. And then obviously when he won the WWE Championship. And this is there's going to be a lucky person that wins this. So
I'll be interested to see what they do with it. It'll be interesting to see what they do with it, with the person who does hit it, and when it does surface, what they do. Doma.
So they're going absolutely bonkers with the Tops Now fanatics. They have gone ballistic.
Well, what can you? Yeah, look, we know that's the moneymaker. That's their new thing. They take these events, and look, you got to say it's pretty cool what they're doing, right? The thing is, what we want to see is obviously taking some match worn, event worn stuff from there, and maybe match worn stuff, and getting it into cards and into sets, not just saying there's going to be a 1-of-1, this and that, and you go buy these packs, because Doma, they're making so much more from doing that than making sets and things 100%. Like that. And it's so much easier for them to do that than it is to make the proper box composition and stuff. So it's a bit of a cop out, because it's cool in a way, but also it's not what we've come to love in the hobby. I mean, it's cool.
Not really.
I really do think it's cool, but then you find that they're probably putting in less effort in some of the other areas, because they got everyone distracted with this big release straight after the event. How cool is this? And probably there's so many people that have probably never bought trading cards or whatever, and then they're fans of wrestling, so then they start buying it, and they get into it, and it's just like me. Like when the LeBron one came out, I was like, oh, am I gonna have a crack or not? I'm like, nah, don't worry about it. Just I don't want to be left with just a face card of LeBron James, which is probably what I'm going to get hit. He's 50,000 points one, but look, I don't know, Doma. I'm probably leaning more, I think it's good, but also I would like them to, now that they've got these amazing access, they've got these amazing, contracts. We need to see better box composition, mate.
I agree with you. Are we going to get it? Who knows?
Who knows? WWE is probably one of the better more affordable things to buy out of,
It is.
out of products.
It
It
definitely
definitely is. But yeah, I'm just saying in general, you know what I mean? Like, obviously, what are they going to do? Are they going to do anything with maybe potentially, any players in the playoffs this season? Like, or when they get the license, say next season they got the license to, what do they do? What does this become, Doma? Like, think about it in basketball terms. What does it become? Tatum has a big highlight in game 1 of a 7-game series in round 1 against, a team that no one's going to ever remember if they get on a run to a title, and they're going to have like some, release of that game, or like, who knows what it leads to. It could be every game there's a few highlights, they're selling cards and they get players to sign stuff after certain games and they can release, and I don't know what it leads to, but yeah, it'll be interesting. It's an interesting it's going to be an interesting transition to what the hobby is going to look like fully under the Fanatics banner.
100%. Oh, they're trying to change a few things and be, I don't know, innovative, I guess. It's work smarter, not harder, like you're saying.
Seems that way.
Smarter. No, definitely. Print 2 cards and then you have a 1-on-1. Oh, they're laughing. Print on demand. They've got the bloody printing machines working 24/7 anyway. What's it worth was the post from PSA Card with the caption, "We've upgraded the PSA app with powerful research tools to help you buy, grade, and collect with confidence." So scan any card, graded or ungraded, instantly recognize a match in seconds. See every insight. It's got view price data, historical sales, active eBay listings, and PSA graded pop. And yeah, so gives you all the info. So a nice little buffer to the PSA card app. As you know, no one really cares when you get to this point. It only shows you PSA. No one cares about any other grading company. There's no right source.
Correct.
So what's the big deal? Just go download it. It's the only app you need, mate, to be realistic. So, and then the last thing from me was Saucy shared it in our story. Another card show. Where is it? Oz National. My thing is so slow, bro.
Do you want me to bring it up?
You got any? No, I got it.
I got absolute jack spot, so it's going to be a quick hobby talk, mate. As we say, we always say this every week. We could talk about. I'll talk about this after this. Do this first, Tom, and then I'll say.
List of vendors announced for the Oz National Source, and look how big and juicy this is.
Oh, gonna be big, gonna be massive. 2 days event, the first of its kind here in Australia.
September,
the first of its kind.
September 20 to 21st, 10 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. both days. Marvel Stadium, Victory Room. Unreal, man. Have a look at this. Very nice. We've got F5 as well. SA Card Collector Show coming down. So Steve and the crew. Angel Grove Toys and Collectibles. They're awesome. Just having a look. There's heaps of good ones. I'm just some people that like Andrew Bennett SA Cards. So we've got some people from South Australia, which is really good. Double coverage, of course.
Yep, we'll be there.
Yeah. Well, there's heaps. It's really good. The featured stores are the Card Hobby, eBay is going to be there, Whatnot is going to be there. So if you've got any questions, you can ask them directly. The Hobby Australia, so that's Lane and the crew, Cherry Collectibles, Luna Cards, Yimco, Fast Break Trading Cards, Blacklist Cards, The Traders, EJ Cards, Mint Collectibles, the Card Cave, Carson TCG, Palms Off Gaming, and the Bearded
We
Fat Guy.
might have some questions for whatnot. We might have some more prepared questions than last time than when we just rolled up on them. If we're able to stop someone, you know me with the roaming source, I'll just go in there and just bustle in, and we might have some hard hitting questions for whatnot. Something I want to know is, why did you take away the ability for people to watch replays of streams on your platform? Why? Like, why can only, like, if I hit a big card, that was one of the great things. How many times have we watched, a stream of someone else who said, I hit a big card, and they sent us the stream and we've watched it. Doma, we can't do that if they decide to break on whatnot. We're not allowed, because we didn't spend money in that break. So therefore,
might be doing a bit of disappearing.
Yeah. They might be doing a couple of magic card tricks up the sleeve,
or
as
a couple of
sleight of hand.
Or a couple of magic lines that you want to can't go through and get a replay of.
Oh yeah. So look, I think it will be good, if we are able to catch them and ask them some questions. But yeah, looking forward to the show. Obviously, first and foremost, Doma, is we just obviously let people know, because that's coming up, and it got announced today of the vendors. But the lead up is obviously the Hobby Hangout XL. Get your tickets. Link in the description. It's on the 1st of June, Sunday the 1st of June, 10:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. It's in the Royal Exhibition Building in Melbourne. So check it out. The Hobby Hangout AU on Instagram, on Facebook, hobbyhangout.com.au. You can get tickets there. You can also get tickets in the links in the description. But that's what we're looking forward to first, Doma. And then obviously, even before that, there is going to be a Melbourne card fair, which I told people about last week, but I believe it's on the 25th of May. Around then, we will notify people sort of 2 weeks out when it is, or 2 weeks out. But it will just give you the heads up about that too. We want to see as many people down at the shows, as we say. And I'd have to say, when I set up a show, that's the time that I actually sell, majority of cards that I sell, unless I decide to pull some out. But, most of my cards stay stashed away in my collection until I decide to set up at a show. So, I'm not one of those people that's sort of actively buying and selling cards all the time. This is a hobby for me. I'm not, there are other people, it's a hobby, and they're very active. That I understand that, but I just don't have the time to go through all that process all the time. It's probably something that, setting up and having my stuff all online somewhere and catalog would probably be a good idea when I do get around to it. But get down there and support the shows, because it's the heartbeat of the hobby. In-person shows, there's nothing like it. If they're run well, like the Hobby Hangout is, like the Oz National is, Melbourne Card Fair, Shano, he does a good job for what that show is meant to be. It's meant to be, he says it is meant to be a show in between the bigger shows for people to have something to do and, get out there and build their collections at in-person shows. So yeah, look, it's good to see, man. The number of shows we have here in Melbourne, we are genuinely lucky, Dom.
No,
we are
so
very,
lucky,
very
bro.
lucky. We are so lucky. And I always say that to people. We are so lucky, the amount of shows that we have here. So, look, I'm sure maybe the lads at Oz National, I think we did ask them previously, once before. We had him on the show on the lead up to the Oz National last year, and we said, is it going to be something that you might travel around the country? And he said, yes, it's definitely going to be something that they will float the idea with and look into it. So, time will tell with that. Anyway, Donna, so people will get the opportunity if you aren't able to make it. But I think the good thing Oz National has done is they've set it far away. So they've given people a lot of notice, a lot of time to organise themselves if they were wished to come.
They did this all within a month last year, a month and a half. So
they put it together and then they released it within, I think it was 8 to 12 weeks, and then they had a show.
Crazy.
So they've got a lot more time to set things up, a lot more time to promote. It should be an absolute belter.
But yeah, can't wait for it. Can't wait for the Hobby Hangout. Can't wait for the Oz National. Can't wait for the Melbourne Card Fairs. But we are. We're spoiled. We're very spoiled here in Victoria, man. For shows. Very spoiled. That's it. From us. Mickey Mouse.
I've got a few. Let's while we're watching the footy, I've got some packs because I went into a 7-Eleven today and they had some footy packs there. So I don't know. I bought how many have I got here? I bought this many. I don't know. Should we open them all? Should we open half? Save half for next week? I don't know.
Go for it, mate. Yeah.
I literally have 10 packs.
Where
are you, Dommy? You've clicked the wrong one.
I don't know which one it is anymore. This one.
That's the one. All right, we're going to go straight to the hit.
Predictor.
There he is. Breakout, Oscar Allen. And you got the luminous Zachy Merritt.
Nice. Essendon. More Essendon. Every time you open these packs, you get Essendon.
I know, every time I open. You know my tactic. If I go into a 7-Eleven or I go into a server and I see the footy cards, I'll buy 10 to 15 packs, if it's a fresh box. Oh, we got the footy heads. We got a Pendles.
Ooh,
footy head.
very nice.
We got Mitchell Hinge. The Luminous. We're going to try to be as fast as we can. While we got
just Supercoach score update. Matt Gawn, with 8 minutes left in the third quarter, is on 141.
Oh, another footy heads. There we go. I'll take that. Sammy Durham. I actually like the footy heads this season, Doma. Dersma. There you go, Doma. There's one for you.
Zano. Can't get a game-o.
Mate, he's going to speak to his brother, mate. Another footy heads. Brad Hill. Bradley Hill. All right. Mitch Owens, footy head. And then Luminous in the Pendles. I've got an absolutely jack squat. Could have bought the 10 Doug packs of the box.
I don't think so.
Fuck! Doma! Doma! Hang on, I'll say we got Chadwick Warner, who re-signed today for the Swans.
Here we go.
This has a chance, no? Who's going to win the Rising Star? Because I've just got a Rising Star predictor patch. Richmond. Laylaw.
Yeah.
They got a few candidates, the Tigers.
Yeah, so much for the dud packs.
Rising Star predictor will take it. It's numbered to 220.
We just got the box.
140. There you go. Yeah, my theories worked, Doma. How good is that?
Pretty good.
How good is that?
That's awesome. Yeah, they've got a whole bunch of them. Lawler, Trainer. They've got a big chance of getting it done.
Rowan Marshall. Oh, fuck, I'm stoked. That's cracker, Doma. Absolutely cracker. Oh, here we go. Langdon's running in for goal.
I don't know how he's marked that.
Oh, he's touched that.
I don't know how he's fucking marked that.
Oh, there we go. I got Big Musmus's favourite player.
Yeah,
the horny boy. I got to give it to him. I'm going to gift it to him. Last time I gifted him a Jason Horn-Francis card, he chucked it on the ground and stepped on it. Nate Caddy. There we go. I'll take that. Beautiful. Another Essendon. I'm cleaning up on the Essendon. Those ones, hey, I'm going to have to go get them signed, I reckon.
Bloody hell.
There we go. Oh, there we go. Got an epic. That's actually a beautiful card. Look at that. What an image of Kerno celebrating the goal. That's actually very nice.
That's him actually celebrating getting another free kick.
Getting another free kick.
25 metres out, directly in front.
Free kick specialist. All right, last pack. I can't top the The Rising Star Predictor match.
Well, you can. You could get like instant win.
Got absolutely nothing. Got that. Luminous Liam Duggan. So there it is, ladies and gentlemen. You know what? That's a great way to end Hobby Talk. There you go. I've hit a number to 220 Rising Star patch predictor. So obviously they got to win the Rising Star for me to get that. Right? That's clearly first and foremost. Doma. But nonetheless, as we just stated, they've got a few contenders to actually win it. So straight on eBay that will go. Straight on eBay. There it is. I'll take it. Sleeve it up. Don't forget to sleeve them up, ladies and gentlemen.
Sleeve that up.
Yes, indeed. And
what happened to
thank you
those
very
guys?
much for tuning in and joining us in another stream. It's a dark, dark day for the Kangas. I think it's going to get darker this week, and it's going to get darker next week, where it's going to literally be, I don't know how many times in a row that if we beat you next week, Doma,
it's a lot.
It will be that we've beat you. It's a lot. I think it's close to nearly 10 times in a row we've beat you.
Well,
so
the lights could be completely turned out after next week. Well, no, not next week. It could be darker this week, darker next week, and the lights could be turned off if we lose to Richmond the following week. Like, absolutely turned off. Light bulb out, thrown into the ocean, never to be seen again. Anyway,
I think you've got to win. I really think you've got to win just for the morale of your supporter base, the morale of your club. I genuinely think you've got to win. I don't think you'll win this week, but you've either got to beat us or you've got to beat Richmond.
100%. On that note, keep living, loving, and breathing sport. I'm Dom with the Great Man Source. It's double coverage. Peace.
Get your Hobby Hangout tickets in the description, ladies and gents. Peace out. Thank you for tuning in. Please don't forget to leave a review on the Apple Podcasting app. Also, follow us on socials, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok. Talking all spots, double coverage.